Hello, folks. Dr. Palermo coming to you with another instructional video, I hope. Instructional video for week 9 of MELS 605 OS. I want to start back in week 8 and comment on what I've been reading recently, your feedback and comments about constructive discipline, Hersey and Glickman, the program evaluation. Um, really enjoyed reading all of your thoughts about constructive discipline and your observations and reflections on different discipline incidents in your school. Um, you need to know what you believe about discipline if you're thrust into the role of being a disciplinarian. Many of you will as novice administrators. You need to know your philosophy, how to go about it, what works with your grade level, your age level, and community, and have some practice with that before you have to do it for real. So good for you. Here's my rule of thumb, by the way. I didn't tell you this going in. Did many years of discipline. Always tried to think about what would I do if it were my kid. And I had a couple of sons, so they got into all kinds of bad behavior. But how can I help them make better choices? I believe in a restitution model of discipline that points out what kids are doing wrong and then offers them an opportunity to try to put it right. That's easier with a broken window than it is with a broken jaw, but try to help kids learn better ways to behave. That when I felt, sometimes I felt good about making a sixth grader cry when I knew that that was going to be a lasting lesson of life that day. Okay, with adults, when you have to discipline them, I took the same growth model mindset. You're doing something wrong, whether it's instructional or behavior wise, teacher. Here's what you're doing wrong. Stop it, and here's an opportunity to try to put it right or to do right. I would give people a couple of chances, and I help. My philosophy is always help employees get better, and then if they don't, help them get gone. So try to help them get better before you help them get gone. Then on program evaluation, I got to be a wise guy in the last few minutes as I was evaluating those pieces. Many of you did a wonderful job identifying programs to evaluate and evaluation questions that would need to be asked to find out whether that program is actually effective or efficacious, a good use of your time and money. But will you do it? Most of us are too busy. But often programs are implemented in school with no thought to whether they're ever going to be evaluated as far as their effectiveness. So be a pioneer there. Do a program evaluation. Maybe think about coming back and doing the dissertation and extending that program evaluation. So on to this week. It is week 9. What's happening this week? Oh, I think there's an ACC tournament or something going on. But I know that you're going to be focusing on your graduate work instead, reading Hersey chapter 11 and Glickman chapter 15, and working on evidences and getting them submitted online. So again, extended deadlines. We, yeah, everything's pushed back anyway. Um, and let me comment about the dialogues and then say something about your evidences as well. Hersey chapter 11 is again about self-awareness, the Joe Harry window. Great stuff. Knowing yourself, you got to know who you are. And then Hersey also, I told you this is the cookbook, provides a model for how you can adapt, you the leader, can adapt your leadership style to influence whole groups of behavior, whether your staff is unable but confident or willing or so. Thrust you yourself into the leadership role and try to analyze your school. Broad brush here. I don't want to see any data or know anything. This is your impression, your personal impression of what your school needs and what leadership style you would craft to that school. Think about it. Different schools, different needs. What does your school need as a leader, and what could you bring to that? It's a little bit of a pipe dream kind of what if. And then finally, clinical supervision. Let me explain about that. Um, I had you observe a teacher and provide some feedback about what that observation was like for the teacher. Here I'm asking you to observe the clinical supervision process. So you're going to ask permission from a principal or AP to sit in on a pre or post conference. The clinical supervision cycle is, I hope you know, is pre-conference, observation, analysis, post-conference. It's a cycle. And if you do not have an opportunity to observe a post-conference, I would ask that you interview a principal or someone responsible for clinical supervision, interview them about clinical supervision. What I want you to take away from this is something about the process, to reflect on it and write about it. Again, observe and record notes on the observation, if on the conversation, if you get to observe a pre or post conference. If not, write up some of the bulleted high points of your conversation with the principal, the interview. Get it? I want you to provide some insights about the clinical supervision process this week. So, and again, that's due next week. Next week, due Easter. I'm going to get myself all confused about these dates. But while you're also providing dates, you should be submitting a CAP-E and a SIAP-F. Most of you have submitted those for peer review and assessment. They're also submitted, please, in Blackboard for an assessment and in TaskStream to request comments and for your final assessment. You should be very busy building your completed portfolio in TaskStream. I noticed that I've been signed on as a reviewer for some of you in TaskStream. I'm going to keep up with that stuff. Most of your SIAP Fs and CAP-Es are proficient. I should be able to tell you why it's not exemplary. If you're looking for that number 4, usually it has to do with working with others and providing. Accomplished is often collaborating, communicating, leading. Show evidence of that leadership role with minutes or photos of the school improvement meeting. Otherwise, if you're loading a table or a graphic or a school improvement plan, it's probably proficient. Push it on, and that's what I've been telling you. Okay, get that stuff loaded. Everybody's taking a spring break at a different time. Again, some of you are watching basketball while you're doing your graduate work. Good for you. Have a great week. Go Heels.